We'll keep you feeling good with the best variety of the 80s, 90s, and today.
On 97.1 Wash FM.
Tonight, the deadly plane crash, the C-130 carrying members of the National Guard, plunging from the sky, a massive fireball on a highway below. Several dead, and we're on the scene tonight. Meantime, the midair scare on another Southwest flight. A passenger window cracking mid-flight, forcing the plane to divert. And it comes just weeks after that Southwest engine came apart midair. The showdown with the special counsel tonight. Robert Mueller now threatening to subpoena President Trump if he's not willing to answer questions in the Russia investigation. And tonight, right here, the bottom line. Does the president have to answer the questions even if there is a subpoena? Never before seen video tonight after the Las Vegas massacre, the police body cam. You will see and hear the moment they stormed that hotel room. Tonight, there are severe thunderstorm and tornado watches as we come on the air across several states. 20 reported tornadoes already. New images tonight showing just how close a passenger jet coming in for landing in San Francisco nearly hit several planes filled with passengers waiting to take off. And tonight, the E. coli scare is growing, involving a certain kind of lettuce. This evening, word of the first death.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Wednesday night. And we do begin with the deadly crash of a military plane in Savannah, Georgia. Several crew members killed. The Air National Guard C-130 cargo plane suddenly in a nosedive, exploding into a fireball as it crashed onto the highway. It's Highway 21, in fact, near the Savannah Hilton Head Airport. The only part of the plane appearing left intact is the tail section. Investigators racing to the scene of the crash to try to figure out what caused this, and ABC's Steve Osunsami leads us off tonight from the scene.
This was the view from a surveillance camera today as a military C-130 fell out of the Georgia sky, nosedived into the ground, and burst into a ball of flames and smoke.
Thereabouts, a military jet crashed across both lanes of the road, black smoke.
The massive cargo plane missed crashing into the Savannah International Airport.
Holy all right, time to get out of here.
It came down over busy roads and train tracks nearby, knocking out power to the area.
As far as we know, there were no cars hit in this crash. It is an absolute miracle at that time of day and that intersection.
No drivers on the ground were hurt, but there were several service members on board. And tonight, the Air Force confirms that at least 5 are dead. They were on their way to Arizona.
Anytime we lose any of our brothers and sisters in arms, it's devastating. And something we'd never like to have happen.
Roads in and around the Savannah airport are still closed tonight and could be closed for weeks as military investigators try to figure out what went wrong.
Because a 4-engine airplane dropped out of the sky in a bright blue sunny day, they're going to be looking at mechanical problems. This is a real mystery that something so reliable could have had such a catastrophic ending.
The plane belongs to the Puerto Rican National Guard and was a lifeline to the Caribbean during last year's devastating hurricane season, delivering food and generators to families in need.
So let's get to Steve Osunsami with us live from the scene. And Steve, we know authorities just moments ago confirming 9 are dead. We know they're still working to make the crash site safe so that investigators can actually get closer.
That's right, David. They're going to work on that tonight. And just to give you a sense of the lay of the land, behind me is the crash site. To my right is a gas station. Had this plane fallen just a few feet in this direction, we could have been talking about an even bigger explosion. David?
Steve Osunsami leading us off tonight with the breaking news. Steve, thank you. Another major story tonight involving a plane, this time a passenger jet, and a major scare mid-flight. It was a Southwest jet flying from Chicago to Newark when a passenger window suddenly cracked. The 737 forced to divert to Cleveland, and of course this comes just 2 weeks after the other Southwest flight when a woman was sucked out of the plane and pulled back in. She did not survive. Here's ABC's Lindsay Janis.
Tonight, another scare on a Southwest flight. Passengers terrified after this window cracked midair.
There was a loud pop.
Something cracked the window, and it was cracked through.
Flight number 957 took off from Chicago's Midway Airport for Newark just after 9 a.m. But less than an hour later, the pilot diverting to Cleveland. The crack on the outer window pane not deep enough to cause depressurization inside the plane.
This is what we call a precautionary emergency. In other words, it's not an immediate threat because there's no loss of cabin pressurization. But anytime you've got any part of the airplane compromised, including a window, you want to get down as quickly as you reasonably can.
The 737 and its 76 passengers landing safely.
Everybody breathe. We are almost there.
Just 2 weeks after passenger Jennifer Reardon was nearly sucked out of a similar Southwest plane after shrapnel from an engine busted the window next to her. The mother of two dying from her injuries. Tonight, a Southwest spokeswoman saying the decision to divert today's flight was made for maintenance review of one of the multiple layers of a window pane.
And Lindsay Janis with us live from Newark Airport tonight. Southwest beginning its investigation into what caused that crack, but says the window was inspected last month. Lindsay?
That's right, David. Southwest says it's too early to say what caused this window to crack, but the FAA is also investigating, and it says this type of incident is rare, happening 26 times since Boeing has been flying the 737. David?
Lindsay Janis tonight. Lindsay, thank you. And there is new video just coming in tonight, the first time it's ever been seen from after the Las Vegas massacre. You will see and hear the moment that they stormed the hotel room on the 32nd floor. Images showing the moment police breached Stephen Paddock's hotel room. 58 people were killed, nearly 500 wounded. ABC's chief national correspondent Matt Gutman has the video just released.
The new video shows the SWAT team clustered in the hallway outside the sniper's room. No sense of what they'll find when they blow down the door. Breach. That deafening explosion. One officer's body camera then revealing the moment he spots Stephen Paddock's own surveillance camera hidden on the service car.
Looks like it might be a camera of some sort.
The officers gingerly entering the hotel suite.
Okay, cover on that. In with you.
Of the deadliest mass shooter in U.S. history. The team surveying the scene, those high-powered rifles resting on a chair. 23 guns ultimately found, thousands of rounds of ammunition. By the time the officers arrived at the 32nd floor, creeping down the hallway, dripping with sweat, going low behind their shields.
Okay, everyone take a deep breath.
Paddock was already dead. He'd shot himself after he gunned down 58 innocent people and wounded hundreds at the concert playing out down below.
And Matt Gutman, who's been on this story from the start, with us live again tonight. And Matt, police have just started releasing this body cam footage, and we know much more is expected to come out. They have thousands of hours they've poured through.
That's right, David. What we saw tonight were the first 3 hours of it. And what's most striking is how much time elapses. We see those officers going floor to floor. Sometimes they breach the wrong rooms. And throughout this process, more than 6 months after the shooting, we still do not have a final police report, no timeline, no firm understanding of why Stephen Paddock did this. David.
Matt Gutman tonight. Matt, thank you. Now to the showdown tonight between President Trump and the special counsel Robert Mueller. Mueller is now threatening a subpoena if the president is unwilling to answer questions in the Russia investigation. And tonight, White House lawyer Ty Cobb announcing that he's retiring at the end of the month. Here's ABC's chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl.
When we first asked, the president was adamant he'd be more than happy to talk to special counsel Robert Mueller. Would you be willing to speak under oath to give your version of those events?
100%.
But now, nearly a year later, a tense standoff. So tense, ABC News has confirmed Mueller told the president's lawyers he could compel the president to testify, raising the possibility of a subpoena. John Dowd, until recently the president's lead lawyer, tells ABC News he fired back, responding, quote, "This isn't some game. You are screwing with the work of the President of the United States." Dowd has since left the president's legal team, and today, another shakeup. Out Ty Cobb, the lead White House lawyer dealing with the special counsel, replaced by Emmett Flood, who was one of President Clinton's impeachment lawyers. Cobb tells me he was ready to leave.
Almost everything that I was brought on to do has been accomplished.
Cobb had employed a strategy of patience with Mueller. You've been preaching cooperation. Is that going to change?
Cooperation definitely was the right move and definitely the path that would lead to the quickest resolution. So I hope that they're able to work something out.
Today, Rudy Giuliani, who is leading the negotiations with Mueller, says whether a presidential interview happens depends largely on the special counsel.
Do they have an open mind to the fact that he may be telling the truth and Comey may be lying? If they have an open mind to that, then this is something we would consider. If they don't, we would be foolish to have him be interviewed.
Giuliani told the Washington Post today that any interview must be limited in scope, max 2 to 3 hours around a narrow set of questions.
So let's bring in John Karl live from the White House tonight. And John, President Trump now threatening to get involved with the Justice Department if they don't provide Republicans with documents they're demanding in Congress, saying this is a rigged system. But John, bottom line in the showdown with Mueller tonight, even if the president is subpoenaed, does he have to answer those questions?
Well, he could fight that subpoena, David. It's a fight that would almost certainly go all the way to the Supreme Court, and it would be a tough one to win. When Richard Nixon tried to fight the subpoena for his Oval Office tapes, he lost at the Supreme Court 9-0. So for now, the president's legal team is trying to narrow the time and the scope of any interview. And David, they are also demanding to know the questions in advance.
John Karl tonight. John, thanks as always. Now to the severe storm threat at this hour from Texas all the way to Wisconsin. Severe thunderstorm and tornado watches across several states tonight. At least 20 reported tornadoes already. This monster twister right here spotted in Bennington, Kansas. ABC's Gio Benitez is in the storm zone tonight.
Tonight, that severe weather outbreak in full swing, hammering the heartland.
Tornado back on the ground. There you can see it right there.
At least 20 reported tornadoes across 3 states from this system already.
It's on the ground!
Including this massive EF3 twister in Ottawa County, Kansas. Winds up to 140 miles an hour, a half-mile wide, and on the ground for more than 14 miles. Lightning in the area, sparking this house fire. Storms packed with large hail and damaging winds. In Walnut, Iowa, Darwin Holtz riding out the storm in his shed as its roof peeled off.
When the lights went out, I looked out, and that's when I seen the roof gone.
And David, here in Kansas City, storms are expected to fire up here overnight. Obviously, that's a very dangerous time for tornadoes to hit. David.
Gio, thank you. Rob told us this was coming last night here. It's now here.
It is, and we've already had 2 tornadoes touch down in the same county that had that monster EF3 in Kansas. Look at this. We've got watches up now from Chicago, from Lake Michigan, all the way down to the Rio Grande tonight. The tornado watches right in the center, including Kansas City now until 1 a.m. And we're looking at intense storms here. The tornado threat will be probably around Oklahoma and through eastern Kansas for the most part. Then damaging winds through Kansas overnight and heavy rain through Chicago. Tomorrow, we extend it again. Kansas City, Springfield, down through Dallas, Texas, and look at Boston. We might see some severe weather across the Northeast with record highs today. We do it again tomorrow. 90 degrees expected New York, Philly, and D.C. Feeling like summer across parts of the East, David.
All right, Bob, thanks very much. We're going to move on tonight to the stunning claim about President Trump's medical exam during the campaign. You'll remember he declared he would be the healthiest person ever elected. His physician at the time, Dr. Harold Bornstein, now saying that glowing report was dictated by Donald Trump himself. Here's ABC's chief national affairs correspondent, Tom Yamas.
Doctor, can you tell us, did the president dictate that letter to you?
Tonight, President Trump's former New York doctor refusing to answer questions after claiming this letter he put out during the campaign, calling Trump's health astonishingly excellent, declaring Trump would be the healthiest individual ever elected to the presidency, came straight from Trump himself.
He wrote it himself, and me, from where I come from, the end of it was just black humor. It wasn't meant to be a serious comment.
When Dr. Harold Bornstein released the letter, some were quick to note the doctor seemed to echo Trump himself. And it's not the only time one of President Trump's doctors has sounded like his patient. When Trump released Dr. Bornstein's letter, the then candidate wrote, "I am fortunate to have been blessed with great genes." Dr. Ronnie Jackson, who until days ago served as the president's personal physician, used that same phrase, great genes, when discussing his physical.
Some people have, just great genes. I told the president that if he had a healthier diet over the last 20 years, he might live to be 200 years old. I don't know.
The president nominated Jackson to run the VA, but amid reports of heavy drinking on the job and giving out prescription sleep aids, Jackson withdrew. Jackson is now facing an inquiry by the Pentagon.
As for Dr. Bornstein, he also claims his office was raided by Trump staffers who were seizing the president's medical records. Now, a spokesperson for a Trump Organization lawyer who was here when it all went down says that the handoff was very cordial, it was peaceful, and it was polite, and that Dr. Bornstein voluntarily handed over those documents. David?
All right, Tom Yamas with us again tonight. Tom, thank you. And the new headline tonight about Cambridge Analytica, the British-based political consulting firm linked to the Trump campaign, announcing it is now filing for bankruptcy and shutting down. the company accused of improperly accessing the personal data of up to 87 million Facebook users during the campaign. The firm tonight says